Welcome to the Voice of Reason Sports Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the show, leave a comment, and click that like button. Hey, thanks for joining us for another episode of the Voice of Reason Sports Podcast. This is the Marvelous One. I'm here with Don. We're back at it again. Our main man, Philosophikal, couldn't join us today, but he sent in his picks. I got to give it to him. He had a good week of picks. So, you know, he's not necessarily in the driver's seat.
Sure
But,
ain't.
but he's back in the game. So I got to give him credit for that.
He in the game.
He in the game. And definitely we're going to have to keep Dell off the show because he had an amazing week of picks.
You
But we're
talking
going
about
to get to that.
Mr. Las Vegas?
Mr. Las Vegas. Yes. Mr. Maryland Live. But look, hey, we're going to get to that. I think, you know, I ain't got much to say about my Saints because I knew they were going to stink, even though I went with feelings over facts and picked them over the 49ers. That was dumb. So I'm not gonna say too much about those clowns, but I think Don, you got some explaining to do. Cause I mean, as I remember, you know, you looked at the schedule and you were like, I see 9 wins, you know, 9-1 or something crazy like that. You saw the
That was
Jaguars as a
crazy, man.
layup. So you got some explaining to do.
Yeah, it's so to all the listeners, I mean, this was a tough one to swallow, man, because I could have swore that we were in the driver's seat, at least for the second half of the season coming out of that bye week. I looked at our schedule. We had a very favorable schedule. And not just looking at by numbers, we weren't facing teams that had very we say confident records, meaning that their winning percentage was very high. So I had to play the number game. But with that game in mind, let's go ahead and talk about it. A lot of miscues. Um, failed to put the finger on the throat, and I can actually say from a Ravens point of view, that game was poorly played, poorly managed, and the game shouldn't have been that close. And sometimes when you give a team a puncher's chance, that's what you end up with. Questionable call at the end, but at the same time, you shouldn't have been in a position where as though you had that questionable call, and leaving church money on the ground, meaning fumbles and things of that nature. You just can't afford to do that with bad teams. You can't afford, especially when bad teams are home. And when bad teams are home and they got that crowd against them, you take the crowd out of it. I think when we started out the game, we started out the game real favorable. Not so much as high scoring, but it was Ravens football, hard nosed defense. We went down, should have scored touchdowns, but I can take the three. But I think the turning point was when we went for it on fourth down. I know that's the new call that everybody want to make, 4th and inches. I should be able to get an inch. Yeah, if you put time in the weight room, and I don't think we were putting that much time in the weight room as far as making the right calls. So we didn't make the right call, didn't get that, and then we switched field, gave him favorable field position, and that's a puncher's chance and things of that nature. So we shouldn't have put them in those type of game-winning situations where the game should have been close. We should have made them march the field, and then at the end, Lamar did his job. Lamar went down there, Lamar scored, and the defense could not hold him. And let's talk about this defense because I had high hopes. We picked up, Smith, who's been actually freeing up, Queens and Houston, whereas though they can do damage on the sides and things of that nature because a lot of people, they're acknowledging that he's a force multiplier on that field. But our corners cannot hold anything. Now I ain't gonna say so much as our corners. I'm gonna say Peters because that guy right there, he gambles too
Yes, he
much to my
does.
liking.
Yes.
And the thing about it is that when you gamble, I'd rather you gamble on the blitz. And that's what we got to look at some of the play calling. Because if you're gambling and you're gambling on blitzes, that blitz got to get to him. So that's the biggest thing. So I just don't think that we were doing the right things in order to put us in a winning position. So
I tell
I
you
can't
what,
get.
the thing that concerns me about you guys, and I told you early on when you guys were losing close games, I look at close games. You know, it would be nice to blow out a team every time, but getting into close games, closing, you know, beating teams in close games, to me that builds character. right? That means you're battle tested. But I'm beginning to think you guys just can't close people out, right?
So I sat down and I tried to take the feelings out of it. So yeah, small guy, that's his code name because we don't use him. So small guy gave me some good, I said, how do you see my Baltimore Ravens? And this was his perfect analysis. He said, they're a good team, doesn't play well consistently, and can't finish in the fourth quarter. So I
Perfect.
had to go back and do my analysis. And guess what? The four losses that we lost in the fourth quarter, and we're getting outscored in the fourth quarter. 20 Dolphins, 28-3. Total defensive breakdown. Buffalo, 3-0. So we didn't and then New York, 14-7, and then the Jaguars, 18-15. So every last one of our losses have something in common, which
Yep.
is total defensive breakdown in the fourth quarter. And
Well,
sometimes you got to have some offensive explosion, and
but
we're
but
not
but
getting that either.
but I'm not even concerned about your defense. It's your offense at the end of games because you've given up turnovers towards the end of the game. I'm thinking back to the Giants game. You had that game in the bag and Lamar fumbled. You had this Jaguars game in the bag and what was it? Gus Edwards
Yeah,
fumbled. These are closeout moments.
church money on the ground. You just can't put teams in predicaments and change the field position that quick.
Yes, especially when they down and out and the momentum is shifting.
So guess what I had I did some more in-depth analysis because once again I'm taking the feelings out of it because I'm trying to be an honest critic when it looks at my Baltimore Ravens. So I'm
You're
gonna
trying
I'm
to
gonna
be a
pull back.
you're trying to be a voice of reason.
Voice of reason. Trying to be a voice of reason.
Yeah.
And it's hard. This week is hard. I this is one of my biggest,
hmm
blunders that I really got to face the music on this. But if you look at this, taking out all the feelings, and let's look at the facts. No ESPN getting paid by the Cowboys to boost the ratings. You got a couple of wins, and now you're ranked number one. We're not gonna do that here.
Hmm.
This is not the show that we do this. So, but in contrary, we are the Minnesota Vikings minus because the Minnesota Vikings are playing close games, but they're winning.
They're winning it.
They're winning, and but
Yep.
but they're not a winning team because if you look at the wins that they had, I'm not impressed. But they're closing them out,
They,
so you
yeah.
can't say anything.
They,
But would you much rather face Minnesota with that winning record, or you face the Baltimore Ravens? Nobody can tell me
I,
that you're gonna wake up and say I want to face the Ravens, whether wild card or first round. You're
I,
not picking them.
but this is who you are. How you losing these games at the end? It doesn't seem like that's going to change.
I think it will. So I think it's going to have to be, and this is some dangerous gamism that everybody can see that is happening right before us. This is what happens when you don't pay or you don't invest in your moneymaker, and the quarterback is a diva position, and I hate to say Lamar is falling into a diva role, but he's playing conservative when it
You
comes down
think?
to. I know so.
I mean,
I don't. I
cussed
don't.
out
I don't. I
somebody
don't. I
on
don't
Twitter.
so it's like yeah, that was a poor tasting move, and I
Yeah,
got to
showed
address
a lot
that.
of
That
immaturity.
yeah, it's a lot of immaturity. He got to grow up with that. And I'm just gonna say that everybody has a bad moment, and I hope
Yep.
that's the last time he has a bad moment. But he needs to go ahead and apologize and then move forward with that.
Yeah.
Enough said with that
Well,
piece.
let me just clear something up before you go on. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I like Lamar. I think he's a good guy. But
Mhm.
we all get frustrated and lash out, and I think that was just a bad moment for him. But I sure hope hope things go well for him because I'm rooting for him. I like Lamar. Go
Yeah, that
ahead.
makes two of us. So, barring that bad social media incident, I think that you will not get all of Lamar because injured players don't get paid.
Mm,
And last time I said, and we're looking at top-notch quarterbacks, and last time I checked, Lamar's in the top five, regardless of how you feel.
mhm.
And you can look at his stats, and you can say whatever you want, but I can put it like this: out of the teams that are not winning, They need that type of top tier quarterback, one that can change the game in a second. And let's go ahead and point it out. I don't talk much about Philly, but Philly got a top notch quarterback that has the
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah,
Guess what? He just knows how to do one thing: find the end zone. And they're
yeah.
saying, can he throw the ball? The ball gets in the end zone.
I don't know. I don't know when this league has changed from, how the style of somebody, you're comparing style to winning. And more people are gearing more to style. Well, he looks like a quarterback. He looks apart. He stands tall in the pocket, but he loses. I don't care. I want the guy that wins. And and,
Mm,
and I hated the way they treated Jalen Hurts when he first came in the league. They called him a running back. They said he can't play quarterback, and Wentz was better. And this kid immediately, once he took over for Wentz,
mhm.
won. He
Yeah.
beat us. He beat us.
Nine
First,
and one, 9-1. That deserves a little respect. So let me
yes.
bounce back to my Ravens and give you some extra analysis because I know people are asking. They want to jump on the bandwagon and pour dirt on the grave. But before you pour dirt on the grave, please understand that we're a playoff team and we're not a wild card team, and we will have that home game because we will win our division. So
Okay.
check this out. So no, let's go ahead and
Cincinnati's
look
on
at.
your heels.
Okay. I'm glad you said that. So Baltimore Ravens, look how we closing out. We close out. Denver comes to see us at Pittsburgh, at Cleveland.
Hmm.
We play home for Atlanta and Pittsburgh, and then we close out at Cincinnati. So let's say voice of reason. 6 games, right?
Hmm.
4-2. 4-2. That puts us at what? 10-6.
Yeah, that's enough to make the playoffs. I don't know about winning the division.
So yeah. Hold on. Let's go and flip that coin. Let's look at Cincinnati. So Cincinnati got Casey, Cleveland. Then they play at Tampa Bay, at New England,
Hmm.
play Buffalo. It's gonna be tough down the road. And then
Hmm.
they close out with Baltimore. So out of the 6 games, let's say 3-3 is reasonable. But if they slip in any direction, they're done. They might not even make wild card.
Mm. That's a good point.
Because we didn't played all the tough teams already, and they got to go play those teams.
Hmm.
So I think that's the part that's going to catch them on the backside is they're not going to be able to bounce back from those wins. KC is definitely on fire. I want to see what Mr. Watson's going to do coming back from Cleveland.
Yeah,
He's going to have at least two. He's going to have at least one game underneath his belt. He's been practicing with those teams. Tampa Tom, even though they're in a weak, they got they got weak teams around them. He's going to play strong near the end.
I
So
think so too.
that's not going to be an easy win.
Right.
And you got to play Buffalo, and then you're gonna close out the season with Baltimore, and you don't have your prize receiver. So it's too much on the line right now, and I think 3-3 reasonable, but I got him slipping to maybe 2-4.
So you got the Ravens winning the division. That's what you're telling me.
Yes, without
Okay.
a doubt,
He said without a doubt.
without a doubt. Go ahead and
Okay.
mark that.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't want you to jinx yourself. You did
I
this
ain't
once
jinxing it.
before.
Yeah, and guess what? We're still in first place.
Okay. All right.
Next slide.
All right. Well, we'll see. Because I mean, I'm a little disappointed in you guys. I had you running away with this division,
Yeah,
and
it's
you're embarrassing me. So I mean, but I can't be any more embarrassed than watching my Saints. I made the stupid pick last week. I look, hey, that wasn't a voice of reason type of mood. I even told you as I made that pick, we're gonna lose
mm,
this game, but I'm
mm,
gonna do it just to piss off
mm.
Don and Phil. That's why I did it. But I ended up hurting myself and allowing Phil to catch up to me.
Yes,
But
you did.
yeah, and the truth of the matter is, look, we're not going to win another game until we make a change at quarterback. And I'm not talking about going back to Jameis Winston because he's just as bad.
Mm,
We're just going to continue losing. We did this last year. I don't want to hear that. Oh, well, you don't have Sean Payton. Well, we had Sean Payton last year and we lost 5 straight games.
mm.
So it's not Unlikely that we'll lose five straight again this year because we refuse to play a talented quarterback. My best quarterback on my team is my worst tight end because he's listed
That's
as a tight end
and you won't give him a chance.
and won't give him a chance. They will rather continue to lose than to
Find the
give
end
this guy a
zone.
chance.
He finds the end zone.
I, and here's a perfect example. So in this game against the 49ers, we got to the 49ers goal line, like within the 10 to 5 yard line of the 49ers, and did not score. Now, I'll go back to last year and the year before. When we got to the goal line, we ran quarterback power with Taysom Hill, and we scored every time. It's simple once we get to the goal line because the dude has the option to run a pass
Mm.
and he can give you the touchdown. Like my thing is, okay, you don't want him to start. Why not have him be the quarterback when you get to the 5 yard line? That way, Alvin Kamara and him have the option. You can run that read option. I've seen the Eagles do it. I've seen the Ravens do it. It's, it is a weapon.
Yes.
I don't
You
understand why
gotta
we so
respect it.
fixated. You got to respect it. That defensive end cannot crash down because he doesn't know if the quarterback is going to keep the ball and run to the outside. It's a killer play. But hey, we're so fixated on being, traditional and running the standard of what a quarterback looks like, and we're just going to continue to lose. So I ain't got much to say. I've seen this movie before. We lost four straight with Trevor Simeon because he looks like a quarterback, and we lost four straight with him. We
Mm.
made the change, and all of a sudden we go 4-1. I don't know what else you need. I don't know what other proof you need. I didn't see. I don't want to hear anything else about Jameis Winston. You Jameis Winston's fans out there, cry me a river. You can put your comments. I don't care. I've seen this guy for 7 seasons as a starter.
Mm.
He averaged 10 losses a season. I've seen, I've seen him go 7-9 with a Super Bowl caliber team. How do I know it was a Super Bowl caliber team? Because the guy that showed up next year not only took him to the playoffs, he took him to the damn Super Bowl. I mean, what other proof do you need? But hey, it is what it is. You guys obviously enjoy losing. Enjoy the losing streak because it's just going to continue. We know what the answer is. We refuse to go to it. It is what it is. I predicted 7-10 this season. Hell, I'm not sure if we can win 7 games.
Man,
I'm
don't let Phil get him. You just bringing joy to Phil's
no,
heart right there.
but Don, I even said that at the beginning of the season. I can't see us winning more than 7. I said at the time,
Mm.
and now I can't. I don't know if we can get to 7 the way things are going. So it's pretty bad. It's bad in New Orleans. All I would say to you as a Ravens fan, be grateful that you have a good quarterback. Right? We had one for I think Breeze was with us for 16 years.
Mm.
I swear to you, I forgot what it felt like having a bad quarterback.
I'm
I,
watching Pittsburgh. I'm watching Pittsburgh go through their
yeah,
regime change.
yeah.
It's not looking good.
It's not
Look
looking good. It's not a good
at
feeling.
all.
It's not a good feeling. At least you guys had a smooth transition from Flacco to Lamar. You know, we went completely down. So it is what it is. I ain't got much else to say. Um, I'm not picking the Saints until they change quarterbacks. And I was feeling that way last week, but I put my heart on the line. I diverted from the voice of reason, the purpose of this show. I diverted from that. I apologize to our listeners
Mm.
because I made a mistake by picking the Saints, and I knew they were going to lose. And I'm not picking them again till they make a change. That's my rant. I mean, look at this. I mean, we might as well transition to this.
Yeah.
Phil went 10-6 last week.
How?
And, wow, that was impressive. It was impressive. But what's really impressive, Dell, our guest on the show, went 11-5.
Mr.
So
Las Vegas.
Mr. Las Vegas, he made some very good picks, and
I hope he put some money down on it.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure
Mr.
he did.
Maryland Live.
Yeah, yeah, no, Mr. Maryland Live, and so you went 97, and I went 8-8, in which I really could have went 9-7 without that dumb pick for the Saints.
Hey,
Uh,
thank you for going with your heart.
yeah, yeah, yep. That's what I get for going with my feelings there. So right now, Phil and I are tied at 58% win percentage.
Mm,
We're both with 85 wins and 62 misses.
mm,
Right now, you're at 58%
mm.
at 50 and 36.
Yeah, the significance of that number one, huh?
Yeah, well, but
Yeah.
you are number one because you're a percentage point higher than us.
Hey, go through drive through and ask that little 15-year-old kid, the significance of the number one. Maybe they can help you understand that when you $1 short.
Right. So right now, yeah, we got a tight race, so it's gonna be a good finish to the season as we
Great close
continue to
out.
make these picks. Yeah, yeah. But before we go on to the recap, just want to get your thoughts on college football. Man, we getting close to the
Woo.
playoffs. Right now, we're in the conference games, and they've already released um, the top four teams. And
Mm,
number one is Georgia. Number two, Michigan. Number three, TCU. And number four, USC.
mm.
So, yeah, I was really hopeful that LSU can get into that top four, but man, they took an embarrassing defeat to Texas A&M, an unranked team, and that pretty much just closed out their championship
Yeah,
or
that dropped them
playoff
five. That
season.
dropped them five, and Clemson didn't do themselves any favor,
Yeah,
by losing because that dropped them a strong three.
yeah. Well, yeah, they're strong three losses on the season, so that pretty much puts them out of it. But the question is, can Ohio State and Alabama, with Ohio State at number five and Alabama at number six, do they have a shot to get back in to the four? I don't know. I don't think so
Mm.
because one
Unless the
that
boosters help them.
well, yeah, but how can you put them into the mix and they're not in the conference championship games. Like for me, even if Michigan loses the conference in what is it, the Big Ten?
Mm-hmm.
I forget. Is the Big Ten or Big 12? The
Big
Big
12.
Ten.
Yeah,
Even
Big
if
12.
they lose the Big Ten, they still should be in the playoffs. Even if Georgia loses the SEC championship game to LSU, they
There's no doubt
still
with Georgia. There's no doubt with
there
Georgia.
shouldn't be no
Georgia's
doubt.
ran
Not
the
a
table on a pretty good. Their winning percentage is pretty high
yeah,
against quality teams.
but even looking at TCU, if they lose the Big 12, they'll just be 12 and 1. They still should be in the top four.
But look at TCU's strength of schedule.
That's in question. But I would have a hard time putting Ohio State in the playoffs and they didn't win their conference. They didn't even play in the game, the conference championship game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're
So
not
I
invited to the big dance.
yeah. You weren't even invited to your conference dance.
The only way Michigan gets, unless they get blown out, which I do not see Purdue actually trying to do.
I don't even think they can get close. Well, what about USC? USC plays Utah. Utah's 9-3, so they're not a bad team. But if they were to lose the Pac-12, do you think they deserve to still be in the conference? I mean, in the playoff game. So to
That,
me,
that the number it's the number game because it's like it's a difference, and you know better than I do. With that calculator, uh, it depends on how bad you lose.
that's
Because
true.
I mean, Utah's pretty good, 14th ranked. Uh, pretty
I got
good.
them. Yeah, I got them at 11. But yeah, I mean Utah's pretty good. So yeah, if USC gets shellacked by Utah,
They're out.
maybe
No, they're out.
they're out. So you would take them out.
I take them out.
Mm, mm,
And now here's the question: Who moves up?
right. Is it Ohio State? Is it Alabama? It can't be Tennessee. Tennessee's without their starting quarterback. I cannot see Tennessee getting in that top four. So it's between Ohio State and Alabama.
And that's the battle of the boosters.
That's a battle of the
And now
boosters.
you gotta look at Alabama. They had a nice winning streak, coming out. So, but they had some
Well,
pretty tough losses.
my thing is, this is my prediction. Regardless of any of these teams losing these conference championship games, they're still going to the playoffs. I still have Georgia, Michigan, TCU, and USC in the playoff games, regardless if they move
You don't
up or
see no
down.
movement. You don't see
I
no
don't.
movement.
I see movement maybe if USC loses. No, no, no. You're right. I don't see any movement. Even if Georgia loses to LSU, I don't see any movement. I think it's
If
going to stay the same way.
if TCU gets blasted,
Even if TCU gets blasted, they might move to 4, and USC, if they win, they'll move up to 3. I just don't see it. I don't see much movement. You can't take you can't take any of these one loss teams and move Alabama ahead of them. And I can't see you moving Ohio State ahead of them. Like, because
mm,
TCU is 12-0, Michigan's 12-0, Georgia's 12-0. You're going to really move Ohio State ahead of them?
Ohio State lost to who?
Ohio State lost to Michigan.
Michigan. Michigan is if Michigan wins their game outright and TCU loses bad, Ohio State gets in.
Or maybe USC loses bad. Maybe Ohio State gets in. Maybe that. I guess I can see that. To me, if you can't make it to your conference game, you shouldn't be in the playoffs, period. Even if I can see if you got there and you lost, yeah. But to me, it should be like the NFL. You win your division, no matter how, like, looking at the NFC South. There's 4 bad teams in the NFC South. But you know what? That's the conference they're in. I mean, the division at the end, the winner makes the playoffs. That's just how it is. But
Big Ten wasn't that strong this year either.
yeah, yeah, that's tough. That's tough. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I still got the same 4 teams going to the playoffs. I got Georgia winning it all. More than likely, Georgia's going to play USC in the first round. Michigan's going to play the TCU. I got Michigan beating TCU, Georgia beating USC, and Georgia and Michigan playing in the championship game. Georgia winning. What do you think?
If Georgia and Michigan, I gotta see how that halftime looks because Harbaugh makes great halftime adjustments. So,
Mm.
so that's the one thing that you got to count. Now, talent wise, Georgia all the way.
I was just going to say,
Georgia is an NFL team right now.
yes, yes.
Right now, they can go and they can beat a couple of these NFL teams.
Yes, and that's the big difference. Like, I think Harbaugh is a great coach. I mean, he's proven it. He did this in Stanford. He did this at San Diego State, and now he's doing it at Michigan. It took a little time, but hey, you got to give people the time to build their program and get the talent that they want in there. And I think he's there. But yeah, I think he's just well over his head against Georgia. I don't care how much scheming you do. Georgia is loaded with talent. It's the SEC team.
And the years where Alabama would go, practice squad, deep. I think Georgia has that this year. I think
Yeah.
Georgia has practice squad deep caliber teams. Their practice squad would probably be ranked in the top 10.
Yeah. Hey
That's
man.
that's ridiculous.
I used to tell my boy this. He likes Notre Dame. And I was like, look, man, you got the NFC, you got the AFC, and you got the SEC. That's that's the 3 NFL conferences. Look.
And right now, out of all the big dogs, I got Georgia being, the biggest of all.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
least for this year.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see once it all shapes out after the conference games. I'll be watching. I'll be watching to see who's going to be the Saints' next quarterback. Well, unless he falls to the second or third round. That's right, because my GM traded away my first round pick,
I'm
which is
about to
probably going
say,
to be a
you
top
got
pick.
all your first round picks.
No, no, that person's in Dallas. I mean, Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, the rich keep getting
The
richer.
rich keep getting richer. They also got my third round pick from 20. Was it 2019?
How in the
Well, no, no, no. We developed him, and now he leads the NFL in interception. His name is CJ Gardner Johnson. CD Deuce. I want to call him CD
CDT?
Deuce because that's what he wants to be called. But yes, he has 6 interceptions on the year. Yeah, we traded him away at the beginning of the season.
Good job.
Yeah, good job. And we traded away our backup quarterback who we drafted out of Notre Dame 2 years ago. Yeah, so now he's backing up um, Hurts and Minshew in
Mm.
Philadelphia. Yeah, I call them the Philadelphia Saints. Yeah, all right. Anyway, let's go to the recap, man.
Let's get it started.
Let's get it started. All right, we're gonna start with this Bills Lions pick. So the Lions were at home, but the Bills were 9 point road favorites, right? You, me, Dell, we all went with the Bills. And right now I got written right here. Phil went with the Lions. I got it circled as a bold pick, and I got
Mm.
double clown written next to his name. So was a clown pick, but I can't clown him too much because he finished out strong.
That was a bold pick. This the one time he rolled the dice. It just didn't go in his favor.
Yeah, didn't go his way, but I promise you, listeners, that it gets better for Phil. He did a good job with his picks here. So, all right, so we got the Giants and the Cowboys. That's right. This wasn't a good one for Phil either. Um, Phil and Don went with the Giants. The Cowboys were 9 point home favorites, and the Cowboys won the game. Dell and I picked the Cowboys. Look,
Let me rant for a second,
oh,
man,
oh, okay, go ahead.
cause Dallas they won a game.
Yep, that's all that
Let's
matters.
go to that's all that matters.
Yep.
But please stop talking to me as if you have already, you know, you're a great you're gonna be you probably make the playoffs and you're gonna bounce out the first round. I don't think you have what it takes, and that's just me. Cowboy
Uh,
Nation, stop it
uh,
with the nonsense.
uh,
Stop it with the paying off Michael Irvin and Keyshawn Johnson. Yes, I shouldn't name them like that, but with their other ridiculous picks, you don't jump from being, in the power rankings that high. And that's why, I think Voice of Reason is one of the better shows out there because we just don't play, with the crowd favorite, and Jerry Jones has yet to send me any money, so I don't think I'll be betting on the Cowboys to win anything. And they're playing good quality ball. However, I just don't trust Dak to do it. And they got one person, phenomenal. They got the He-Man on defense. However, I seen it when you run the ball at him constantly and you pound him, and I watched his motor go dry.
well, I think you made a good point when you talked about the Cowboys last week, and Dell made a good point about them. They are a ball control running football team, and they sometimes they stray away from that, and that's where they get into trouble. If they
Get
can
throw,
find
get throwing
they,
drunk, call
yeah,
too many pass plays, and Dak
yes,
is gonna turn it over.
yes, and I think that's the problem. If they can stick to the run and use the run to help the pass, then it'll be fine. Opposed to using the pass to set up the run.
So
It,
let's
it's
keep
it's the other
it,
way.
but let's keep it 100. The Giants aren't healthy.
What's that?
The Giants weren't healthy that game, and you barely won.
Well, I
You
mean,
squeaked it out at the end.
well, nah, the Giants weren't winning this game, man. Come on, man. They
I did.
weren't winning this
I
game.
mean, but like this, it wasn't that impressive for them to be as injured as they are.
Regardless if they injured or not, look, man, nobody cares.
I'm gonna give Dallas. I'm gonna give Dallas, but they shouldn't be ranked higher than Philly right now. And
Oh,
that's
they
that's the
definitely
only reason
not.
I say. And they acting as if Scary Terry, and we're getting on to that. But winning streaks.
Scary Terry. Yeah.
Yeah. But I hand it back to you.
Okay. All right. All right. Next slide. All right. So, so we got the Vikings at home against the Patriots. The Vikings were 3 point home favorites. Um, so yes, I was the only one that went with the Patriots, and I went against, what I've always said: a good team that gets embarrassed the week prior always come back strong. I've always said that. And some reason, I said I'm going against that because this is Belichick.
Mm,
I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have. I should have went with the Vikings. I went against, that belief that good teams always come back after an embarrassing loss, and the Vikings did that. And you guys picked the Vikings, so you got that one right.
mm.
Yeah. All right. Next, we had the Browns at home versus the Bucks. Um, so the Bucks were 3-point road favorites. We all went with the Bucks, and the Browns came back and won this game in OT. Yeah, I mean the Bucks had it pretty much in hand, but they're not a good football team, um, especially on offense. I mean, they rely heavily on Tom Brady. I mean, he
Mm-hmm.
leads the league in attempts
Mm.
and completions. They're all completely the Tom Brady Bucks. That they rely heavily on his arm, and that's a mistake. So
And let's go ahead and let's say what we gotta say. The Browns have been playing, pretty good football.
yeah,
They're just missing that one piece that I think I'm gonna see next week if that piece is worth all of that money and that cash that they blew out to him.
hmm
I want to see if he come to work ready to earn his money, but there's gonna be more to follow on that one. I'm not even. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna give the first week an open eye.
hmm.
No comment. Open eye.
Well, I tell you this: the Browns have a very good offensive line. They got two really good running backs. I always like Chubb. Um, so they
Uh
they got a
huh.
good squad and they got a
Yeah.
really good wide receiver. So I think Deshaun Watson is going to give them that extra boost.
Cooper.
Cooper, yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Tight
at
end is legit.
tight end is, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Tight end is legit.
A Joku.
Joku, the defense is nice. So I think Watson, but is it enough? Is it enough at this point in the season to make the playoffs? It,
No, it's not enough to make the playoffs, but it's enough to ruin Cincinnati's.
or,
Hate,
or,
hate, hate, hate.
or the Ravens finish with the Browns, or do they have to play them one more time?
Hey, we got to dance with them. No, we dance. Yeah, we dance with Cleveland, but hey, what same,
Yeah.
same.
Okay. Well, I know we still got to play them. And this is one of the games I chalked up as a loss because I knew Deshaun Watson was going to be back for this game. It's like, yeah, and he was going to have two games under his belt by the time he played us,
Mm.
so all the rust would be gone. But anyway, all right, none of us picked the Browns on here. The Bucks lost, which is good for my team because that keeps us in contention. We still
Mm.
have time to make the right change to get us into the playoffs. But do I think they're going to do it? Hell no. We enjoy losing. It's just dumb. All right, moving on. All right, so we had the Titans at home versus the Bengals. The Bengals were 1.5 road favorites here. Uh, so Dell, me, and Don, we picked the Titans here, and the Bengals won. So Phil got that one. All right, we got the Dolphins home against the Texans. The Dolphins were 12.5 point home favorites. We all went with the Dolphins. That was easy.
No brainer.
That was a no-brainer. Then we had the Jets at home against the Bears. The Jets were 4.5 point favorites. We all picked the Jets, and I think it was a good pick, and I think that was a smart change by the Jets at quarterback.
Brilliant.
That
I
Mike
I saw
White.
it coming.
Yeah, and look, I hate when teams get fixated and stuck on, draft status. Yeah, we drafted him with the second overall pick, so we're gonna stick to our guns. We're gonna go down on this ship when you
Why?
got somebody sitting right next to him that has proven that he's a better quarterback and gives you the best chance of winning. They saw Mike White last year, and I thought he had two games where he threw for like 400 yards. It's like this is a no-brainer.
They got to continue to develop them, but I think they're fixated with the big name,
Yeah,
and now they're starting to see that the kid can't read defenses
yeah.
and or handle pressure.
It's either he can't handle pressure or his technique is really bad. He has too many bad habits, which Phil has talked about. He talks about the fact that he breaks from the pocket too often and rolls out too often. And I've seen that where he doesn't stand tall in that pocket and throw, or he doesn't step up and he rolls out to the side, and he, and
If
he's
you're
just
gonna roll
got
out to the
bad.
side, you gotta make one or two decisions. Either you got run or you
You
got
got to
gun.
throw it. Yep. Yep.
Run a gun. But whatever decision you make, you gotta make it quick, and he's not making those decisions quick enough.
He's not. He's not. And I find that he has poor technique once he gets out of that pocket. So yeah, I think it's time that the Jets just say, hey, Mike White, he's our guy, and the only way you're gonna develop him is by allowing him to play. And you can see he
Mm,
has the tools to play. Now, yeah, he's gonna lose some games, you know.
management.
Yeah, but you got to give him that time. Pay the man,
This the
make him your
same
guy.
team that didn't give Geno a chance.
Well, yeah, that's true. But look, you found your guy. Don't mess this up, Jets. You've been looking for your quarterback. Sometimes they don't come in the first round. Sometimes they come in the sixth, seventh round. Tom Brady. Sometimes they come in the second, third round. Drew Brees. Sometimes they come as the 32nd pick in the first round. Lamar Jackson. They don't always come as your top two picks. Sometimes I forget what Patrick Mahomes was drafted, 10th, 11th.
Man, everybody missed on that one.
They miss. You miss sometimes. You know, you found your guy, make him the guy, and run with him. Don't mess this up, Jets. You finally got it. You finally got him. Quarterbacks are hard to come by. Take your losses. It was the number 2 overall pick. Oh well. Trade him away, get a third round, fourth round pick, and hope and wish him well.
Hmm.
And adios, Zach Wilson. We got our guy. We appreciate your support over the years. Good luck. Well, we'll see if they do it. And God, please don't come to the sink, Zach Wilson.
Y'all gonna give us some draft picks and solidify that.
We don't even
Lock him in
have
for
any
a couple of
draft
years.
picks for that. All right, next slide. We have the Commanders at home
Scary
against the
time.
Falcons. Now, see, this is what Dell messed up. He could have been 12-4, but he let his feelings get into this one.
Mm,
He
mm,
picked the Falcons and try to
trash.
predict the score. Remember that got real
Yeah,
sassy.
yeah,
So it was
yeah.
14-7.
14-7. I wrote that down, Dell.
What? He
Run the
got
music.
yeah. Yeah, it got real sassy. It's like Dale, Falcons not winning this game.
Mm,
Commanders won the game. You, me, Don, we picked the Commanders. Commanders won this game 19-13. So yeah. And they were 4-point home favorites. All right, moving on. We got the Panthers at home against the Broncos. The Broncos were 2.5-point favorites. Dell was the only one to pick the Panthers, and we
and
all picked
I
them.
went against my better judgment because
Me too.
I knew Miss Sierra was not gonna make the right throws. And as you can see, somebody went after him on that line because
Yeah,
Mr. Sierra, because yeah,
yeah,
I call him Mr. Sierra. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I got it. I mean, but yeah, that one player had enough of it. And,
Enough
and
is enough.
yeah, and Russ probably on the sideline with the corny motivational speeches, and dude probably like, look, man, I don't want to hear any more of that stuff. Win these games,
Hey,
score
win
some
these
points.
games.
Yeah,
We paid you the money. You got your check.
you got your check, win some games. I'm out here working hard to keep the opposing team out of the end zone, and you can't give me 20 points. So yeah, I can understand the Broncos defense being frustrated with the Broncos offense.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, that went against my better judgment. I mean, like I told you before, I thought the Panthers had a little bit more juice with this interim head coach. But one minute they played well, the next minute
I thought they was
they
playing
look they
for a
gave.
draft pick. Yeah, I
I
thought they was gonna
know,
fold.
me too.
I underestimated that. I said, okay, they're gonna
But
play for a draft pick.
they got a really good defense. But I just can't figure them out. I can't figure out whether or not they've given up or they're going to actually play with the talent that they have.
That
It,
makes two of us.
it, they need a quarterback. That's the problem.
Mm.
They got a good defense. They still got a good run game. Got good receivers. You just need a quarterback. So I don't know. I can't figure them out. Okay. All right. Let's get to the next one. This is the one I want to get to.
Mm.
All right. So we got the Jags at home. The Jags were at home against the Ravens. The Ravens were 4-point home road favorites, and they lost to the Jaguars. And I mean, you guys are finding new ways to lose these games. I mean, in spectacular fashion.
We gonna ask that man to kick a almost 67-yard field goal.
But hold up, Don. Hold up. Going in that fourth quarter, you had like a two-score lead.
Yeah, we
You had
did.
a two-score lead, as I remember. No,
Had
no, yeah,
past tense.
it was 19-10. In some kind of way, you allow the Jags to come back and take the lead 20-19.
Prevent defense playing soft instead of blitzing them and coming after the quarterback and disguising it. We do a terrible job of disguising, and I think the Ravens just need to sit Peters. I mean, right now we hurting in that secondary, and,
Mm,
and, and the crazy part is we played better defense last year with the backups, and
mm.
now we got guys that healed up from last year, and there's no change. The secondary is still trash.
All right. I see you're still a little emotional about this, so we're gonna move on to the next one. It's still too soon.
It hurt me, man. Can't hold nobody.
Hey man. I'm still
Bush.
dreading to get to the Saints 49ers one. All right, next slide. We
Yes.
got the Cardinals at home against the Chargers. The Chargers were 3.5 point favorites. We picked the Chargers. All of us, we picked the Chargers. We knew the Chargers were going to win this game.
Yeah.
All
It's gonna
right.
happen.
Yeah. All right. Now this was the tricky one. We had the Seahawks at home against the Raiders. Here's another team, right? The Seahawks are 3.5 point home favorites. Here's another team. I can't figure out whether or not they're giving up or they're gonna play it out because they got talent. The Raiders have talent, but early
Gino
on
had
they
a
were
pre-
sure.
but Gino had a pretty good game. Are you looking
Yeah,
at 328 yards, two touchdowns? I
yeah,
mean, that's a solid game.
but this Seahawks defense is bad. I mean, look, I don't
Atrocious.
care. I don't care what Phil said last week, saying it was a top five defense. The craziest thing I heard. Not top five. The top five at the bottom.
They five from the bottom.
Five from the bottom. That a good defense. And that's the Achilles heel of the Seahawks team, no matter how well Gino is playing. But you can't really tell with the Raiders because at one point it looked like they gave up. They weren't trying. Um, but hell, man, they came out to ball this game. They balled out.
They scored every quarter,
Oh, is that right?
including overtime.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Jacobs, he put in some work. Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
I mean, he totaled.
Ran the
I think
football field twice, 229 yards,
yeah,
two touchdowns.
but he had over 300 yards of total offense. Yeah, he put in some work.
Mercy.
Yeah, get that boy an ice bath. you know, get some massage therapists in there. Don't call Deshaun for any numbers, but yeah,
Have him do an icy hot commercial.
yeah, this man put in some work. I mean, literally, he put Carr on his back. He told Adams come for the ride. I'm taking us home. Yeah, that boy put in some work, man. So yeah, but yeah, Dell was the only one that picked the Raiders, and he got it right, man. I
Hmm.
give him credit on that. All right.
Yeah.
So next we have the Chiefs. The Chiefs were 14.5 point home favorites over the Rams. We all went with the Chiefs. I think this is
No
easy.
brainer. Yeah,
No
no brainer.
brainer. Now here's a team I think has given up. And I think it's just because they still partying from the Super Bowl.
They're terrible.
Yeah.
And
All
then they
right.
went and paid him all that money, so that's double terrible. And then for some strange reason, uh, Mister what's his name?
Aaron
Quentin
Donald.
Wide. No, yeah, Aaron Donald. They paid him all that money, and then
But
wide
see,
receiver.
oh, you
You
talking
know,
about Cooper
then
Cup?
he got hurt, didn't he?
Yeah, he didn't play in this game. He hurt.
Yeah,
I don't even think Stafford played in this game because Stafford he left the game against us with a concussion.
yeah,
So
that's damn terrible.
yeah, I think yeah they're pretty much done. But I think they made some mistakes by like bringing Aaron Donald back. Why would you bring back a
Why?
guy that wanted to retire? You got to convince him to come back and play. Well, yeah, that's not a good thing if you got to convince him to come back and play.
Yeah, especially a whole season. I could see if you said, "Hey, come on out and finish these playoff games. There's two
Right.
games before the playoff game, but you asking them to finish out a whole season."
Yeah. Yeah. And he was done. So, like I said, this is an emotional
Hey,
game.
flip flops, ashy feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was done.
I'm not questioning the guy's heart, but you know, if his heart is not into the game and he was contemplating retirement, you're probably not
Contemplating,
gonna get
he
the best.
was, and he's playing like he is.
Yeah,
He's not dominating the game like he.
no, but he's still playing at a high level. It's not to say that he's not. It's not to say that he's not giving it his all. But if you're not motivated, you're not going to give it your all. And if he was contemplating retirement, yeah,
He
maybe that
is
was just what.
now.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. After seeing this foolishness, don't be surprised if he shut it down.
Mm,
All right, let's get to this clown pick. All right. We have the 49ers at home against the Saints. 49ers were 8-point home favorites. Um, you know, like I said, I thought the Saints were gonna go more Taysom Hill, like even split the time between him and Dalton at quarterback, because they found this formula that worked. Yeah, well, not so much. I think he may have had 6 touches.
mm.
And so there was one really good play that he made. He threw it like 40 yards down the field to the receiver, Chris Olave. Olave caught it, but dropped it. So it was reviewed and it was an incomplete pass. So it was one big play that happened. Andy, he was okay. Like I say, he's not god awful, but he doesn't give you anything. That's the
A-
worst thing to be.
Andy
Uh,
trick or treat for the other team. Trick or treat.
it- What he didn't turn it over. He didn't turn it over, but he didn't give. He's nothing at this point in his career. He's nothing special.
He's not a wow.
He's not a wow. He's not going to win the game for you. You know, and he's not going to lose it for you. So
Mm.
I'm not going to get what I would get from Jameis Winston, where he will literally lose the game for you. You're not going to get that extreme, but you're not going to get the extreme where he's going to win it for you.
I'm looking at everything, and I think this was the worst loss of the week.
To lose 13-0 to get shut out. Yeah. And my defense played well. My defense held this 49ers team in check with all of their weapons. They held them in check, but I couldn't get anything. And the crazy part about it, we got to the red zone of the 49ers twice. Well, I shouldn't
Mm.
even say the red zone, the goal line. We got to the goal line twice and couldn't get into the end zone. One was a fumble by Alvin Kamara at the 1 yard line, and
So
the
that
other one was just we went for it on fourth down and couldn't get in.
14 points, 14-13.
Yep,
That's the game.
that's the game. Yeah, but look, we're a bad team. We're not playing winning football, and look, I don't care how much talent we got. You're bad, and we're bad. So accept it. Moving on. I ain't
Moving
got
on.
nothing else to say about this team, man.
I'm gonna let you finish your hand.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous, man. I'll just say this last thing, man. You know, you got to play on a team that sparks the team that's already given you 2 wins on the season, that has been a starting quarterback,
Mm.
has had success with it, and you won't turn to him. I just don't understand it, dude. I don't understand it.
Sad moment.
Yeah, it's insanity. You know. All right, moving on. Eagles at home against the Packers. The Eagles are 7-point home favorites. We all went with the Eagles. Yeah, that was easy.
To me, Respect. Take care of me. Hey, give these guys their respect. Put some respect on their name.
Yeah, man. Put some respect on Jalen Hurts' name.
My
Why
frat brother.
why aren't we talking about this boy as
Giving up
MVP?
mad work. Mad
Yeah,
work. Mad
putting it
work.
putting in mad work. He is
Putting up Lamar numbers when Lamar was MVP.
Yeah, why aren't we talking about this kid as MVP? I mean,
I am. I am. I'm done with the self-licking ice cream cone of the Cowboys. Right now, we talking about teams that are in first place, and you're not it, and it's
mm,
just not gonna happen.
mm.
Cause I don't have you winning the next game. And when do they
Ooh,
and when oh yes,
ooh,
when do the Eagles and Cowboys play? Cause that's gonna be a pivotal game.
mm.
I think we should go in and schedule,
Whoa.
as a guest appearance. Cause right now I need to hear somebody from Philly to sit up and talk about this because right now I've been looking for Philly Nation to stand up and say something and have honest grievance about the over
Attention,
oversaturated oversaturated Dallas
attention.
Cowboy. Yeah, because it's oversaturated and
Mm,
unnecessary.
mm,
You still don't I mean I got you still don't even have a better game record than Minnesota.
mm.
What you're not putting together consistent wins, and these teams are
Well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. When do the Eagles play the Cowboys? They play them
the
on
24th.
Christmas Eve. On
There you go.
Christmas Eve.
Mm.
Yes. So yeah, yeah. So Eagles Nation, stand up. Let us know what you
I
think
need you
about
to
that.
put something in the comment because we respond to comments, not to
Yeah.
text messages. Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe, please.
Let let us know, and we want to hear your thoughts on this. How you feel about the lack of attention.
The
The
consistent lack of attention.
yeah, because I think you guys are dominating. I like what I'm seeing from Philadelphia. I like the moves you made during the offseason. So yeah, let's talk. Let's talk. All right. All right. Let's go to this last one. We have the Colts at home versus Steelers. The Colts were 3-point home favorites. I don't know why I picked the Colts with an interim head coach who wasn't on the team coaching them, but I did. And Phil picked the Steelers, and the Steelers won this game.
And they
So
got Mike Tomlin talking about this was one of our, this was without a doubt. Tonight was one of the really best wins against a really good 4-17.
really, stop it, stop it, Mike. Really, a really good 4-17. They're not even 4-7, 4-6-1. Oh man.
I had to get that out of my system.
Yeah. That was
Hey,
a good
hey, hey,
laugh.
hey, hey, hey.
All right, let's go and make our picks. All right. All right. First up, we got the Patriots at home versus the Bills. The Bills are 4-point road favorites. I'm going with the Bills. Um, I ain't got much to say. I wasn't really impressed with the Patriots offense. And I think the Bills are going to do enough to get this win here. It's going to be a close game, but I think the Bills are going to do enough. Phil also went with the Bills. Who you
I'm riding with the Bills.
you riding with the Bills? Okay.
That's a no brainer. You got a playoff contending quarterback. Even though I'm still watching him carefully because I just still think his elbow is giving him issues. But we'll see as the weeks to come.
Okay. All right. All right, Hill. Here's a one. So we got the Falcons at home versus the Steelers. Surprisingly, the Steelers are 1-point road favorites. I found that really interesting. I went with the Falcons. I think the Falcons are going to win this game. This is a home game for them. They lost last week, and I'm not saying that the Falcons are a good team, but I think they're gonna avenge that loss from last week against the Commanders and beat the Steelers. Phil went with the Steelers. Who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Falcons because right now I think, and this is what the Falcons are a very bad team,
Hmm.
but I think their run game is enough
I think so too.
to wear down the Steelers defense, and they're
Yep.
playing at home. So I'm gonna go with the home team
Yep.
coming back and winning this
I, and I'm hesitant to pick the Falcons because I mean they do dumb stuff at the end of games that cost
consistently.
consistently. I
And
mean, but they do it in a spectacular fashion where I mean even Hollywood can come up with some of the stuff they come up with.
And Drake London, please let me know if you're a wide receiver, because right now these numbers are not saying so.
Putting up high school numbers.
He cannot create separation
Mm.
enough whereas the quarterback feels as though your hands are good enough to catch the ball.
You think that's the problem, or is it the quarterback?
Combination of both.
Okay, because if you watch it in this Falcons
I
game,
was reaching on that when
yeah,
I was
you were
reaching.
reaching on that. I mean, come on, man. If you watch any Falcons game, I mean, this dude is missing him. He got Kyle Pitts, and he's missing him.
Mm,
Yeah, they're not good, and it's interesting. I give the coach a lot of credit because Arthur Smith is doing. I mean, he's making lemonade out of lemons here.
mm.
Um, yeah. So anyway, that's enough talking about the Falcons. All right. Moving on, we got the Bears at home against the Packers. The Packers are 4-point road favorites. I'm going with the Packers. I do not believe in the Bears with Trevor Siemian as quarterback. I've saw enough of that hot mess last year with the Saints. Yeah, Packers. Phil is also going with the Packers. Who you got, Don?
I'm going with the Packers. I mean, let's make it a clean sweep.
Yeah, yeah, and then I'm hearing that Aaron Rodgers is going to try to play.
I got
Um,
Aaron Rodgers playing.
I wish he wouldn't. I want to see more Jordan Love. He played pretty good against the Eagles.
Not a. He will not give that ball up. He
No,
said,
he's not.
You will not Brett Favre me."
But if I'm the head coach, I would Brett Favre him. Like, yeah, I'm shutting you down. You didn't want to play for us
It's an
anyway.
ownership because they paid him too much money,
So
and
what?
you gave up Adams,
Yeah,
and then, yeah,
yeah. But
so you
to
have
me,
to.
no, you don't. To me, like, look, you just be an expensive backup, you know,
Mm,
or shut him down. He didn't want to play for him anyway. Let the man go. Let the man go to San Francisco or wherever he wants to go.
that's a tough one.
Yeah. All right. Lions at home against the Jags. The Jags are 1-point road favorites. I think, okay, let's not get carried away, Jags fans. I don't know what Vegas is thinking on this one, but look, I like the Jags, but they're not winning this game. I'm going Lions. Phil's also going Lions. Who you got, Don? You look like you're going Jags.
I'm gonna go with the Jags.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Gotta go with the Jags.
Going with the Jags. Okay.
Yeah, it's no. I don't trust the Lions
Okay.
this
I think the
time.
Lions defense is really, really bad. But offensively, they can put up points.
Golf can, but I don't know which. I don't know if he's gonna show up.
Okay. All right. So here we go. Here we go. We got the Vikings at home against the Jets. The Vikings are 3-point home favorites. Phil went, of course, with his Vikings. I'm making a bold pick here. I'm going Jets. I like the move to Mike White. And I think he complements that Jets defense. He more than complements that Jets defense. He puts up points. He finds the end zone. I don't know how he does it. I don't really care. I don't care what round he was drafted in. I don't know how tall he is. Don't care. Whether he can run a 4.4 in the 40. Doesn't matter how strong his arm is. All of this tangible stuff. Don't care. Does he win football games? And the answer is yes. God damn it, let him play. And I think that's going to be the difference. Jets going to win this game. Who you got?
Like I said before, I think it's gonna be a close game, but Vikings always find a way to win those.
Okay, that is true. They do. They do. And I've been picking
And I
against them
got
all season.
Jefferson having a big game.
I hope so. He's on my fantasy team. But I think the Jets are going to make a run. I think
Kirk,
the Jets are going to make a run towards
Kirk
the end of the season.
Cousins has enough to get him past this.
Okay, okay. I think this is a Jets time. I think they're going to make a run. I don't think they're going to win that division, but they're going to give the Bills a run for their money.
Yes, they will.
Yeah, and the Jets. I mean, not the in the Dolphins. Because I mean that AFC East, man,
It's packed.
it's packed, man. They are stacked with teams, and they're one of the best divisions to watch right now. I mean, remember years ago they were the worst. You didn't want to watch that. I mean, Tom Brady was getting fat off that division.
Eh,
He might want to come back. I mean, he may not want to come back. You don't want to
Nah,
be bothered
he,
with that.
it done got a little bit too thick for him,
Yeah,
and I don't think and I don't think he would do well because right
yeah,
now the Dolphins, Bills, and the Jets, they still fighting for respectability, and don't count out the Patriots.
yeah. No, kind of. The Patriots are playing well too, but I don't think they're gonna beat the Bills. This is a
No,
must win for the Patriots too. I was really leaning Patriots, but I just can't see them winning this game. I was getting ready to get into my feelings, but I just can't see it.
no, Belichick been pulled the lot out, but
Yeah.
ever since Spygate, he's been falling off.
Well, he did win a Super Bowl after Spygate, but
But he got fined again too. So
all
let's not ignore that.
right, all right. Here we go. We got a good one here. We got a couple of good ones coming up. All right. We got the Giants at home against the Commanders. The Commanders are 2.5 point road favorites. Um, Phil and I went with the Commanders. Here's another quarterback. I don't know how tall he is. I don't know what round he was drafted. I don't even care. But somehow the dude just keeps winning. And to me, that's all that matters.
Scary Terry.
Scary Terry. I'm talking about Taylor Heineke. Scary Terry was on the team when Wentz was there, but Scary
Hmm.
Terry can't throw it to himself.
Yeah.
He needs somebody to throw it to him. And Taylor knows who to get the ball to, and that's what that matters. And he knows how to win.
Mm.
So I got the Commanders winning this game, and I think the Giants' problem is, Daniels.
Not
So
Daniels. I think they have too many people hurt. Right now, I count a -7 on defense. So that's the same deficit. I don't see them healing up that quick. They're gonna
mm,
need at least three weeks to heal up. So this is week 2 of healing up. So no,
so
I
who you
got them
going with?
personally. I'm going
You
with
got the
Commanders.
Commanders. Okay, you just like Scary Terry.
That's a fact. Awesome nickname. It's the nickname.
Yes, yes, we gotta get Danielle back on the show, man.
Yeah, Danielle, good pick.
Yeah,
Awesome name. It's gonna stick.
awesome, Dave. Yes, that was one of the gems from that show.
Hmm.
Okay, all right, we got the Eagles at home against the Titans. The Eagles are 5 point home favorites. All right, so Phil went with the Eagles. All right, so I got to explain this. I'm going with the Titans, and here's why. Yes, yes.
Please explain. This is hey, I'll give you a bold pick on this one.
Well, I think the Titans had suffered a big loss last week. You know how I feel about good teams taking a loss the previous week, an embarrassing loss, a tough loss, and showing back up the next week. And I
Not at
think the
home.
Titans.
They're on the road.
I know, and I think the Eagles. And it's not because the Eagles are a bad team. I talk about these trap games, the trap
Hmm.
game like the Jaguars and Ravens. I think it's a trap game. You saw I did that. I
Real
think this is
cute. Keep that
uh, uh,
same energy.
yeah. But I think this is a trap. I think it's a trap game for the Eagles. They come in beating on their chest, feeling real good. We 10-1. We the Eagles, baby. And then that big man child behind Tannehill is gonna get that ball, and he gonna be putting the hurting on him.
Mm.
And he's gonna start wearing them down. And Jalen Hurts is gonna be
I haven't
putting in
seen them
work.
do that this year. I haven't seen them wear nobody down.
I've seen it. I've seen it. Yeah, the Titans have won. Titans 7-4.
They're winning, but I haven't seen him dominate a game like he used to. I think
Mm.
it's just not there this year.
I think it's done in a different way, right? Yeah, he's not having the big 200-yard games where he's totally dominant. I think it's a more methodical, like slow pace wearing down of teams. So I'm going with the Titans here. I'm going with the Titans. I think they're going to get this win. I think it's going to be a letdown for the Eagles, not because they're not a good team, not because I don't trust them. I think it's time for a letdown. I think they're going to be sluggish here. Who you got, Don?
11-1.
You're like,
That mother
whatever.
talking. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
11
whatever you
one.
talking about, man.
11-1. Hey, great comedy. 11-1.
All right. I want to see how you feel about this one. We got the Ravens at home against the Broncos. The Ravens are 8-point home favorites. Yeah, I'm going with the Ravens. Like I said, good team that got embarrassed the previous week. They're gonna show up, especially at home. I got the Ravens winning this game. Phil got the Ravens. Don, you're going with the Ravens. I don't need to ask you.
Next slide.
Next slide. All right. Texans at home against the Browns. I mean, did the NFL do this on purpose with this 11 game suspension? I thought it was kind of odd that they said 11 games. You know, we're gonna suspend you 11 games so we so we can set you up to go back to Houston to play the Texans. I mean, really? So now, I don't know if you heard this. They're gonna have the victims or the accusers, I should say. Deshaun Watson's accusers are going to be in a suite at the Texans game. I was like, wow, yeah, wow,
I'm not even touching this.
right?
Wow.
So, wow, yes, yes. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'm going with the Ravens. Phil's going with the Ravens. Who you got?
You said
I'm
Browns to
sorry, I
Texans.
said Ravens. I mean, I'm going with the Browns.
Everybody's gonna go with the Browns, but we everybody's going with the Browns for different reasons. I think that Watson's gonna come there with a sense of that used to be his home. I think it's two sides of the story. I think, and I think the team is gonna want to play hard for him. So, you know, they're gonna try to get past this. I hope that the PR doesn't get ugly with the whole situation. I hope but we can't ignore what was said. But at the same time, we can't ignore the fact that there are no criminal charges.
Yep, yep. Well, who you going with?
I'm going with Browns.
Okay. Sound like you was about to pick the Texans. Come on, man.
No,
Like, man, what are you
eh,
talking about?
unless you're gonna put them young ladies on that football field, then
I
then
think,
I'll probably ride with them.
it won't be a heavy lift for
Mhm.
Deshaun. I mean, it's going to be pretty much a bunch of handoffs. I don't even seen him throwing more than 25 passes in this game. They won't have to lean on him too
But
much.
it's the 25 that he makes. I think they're gonna be 25 plus yards, and that's what's gonna open up that run game.
Yeah, yeah, it is. And I think his running ability is also going to help him. So,
Mhm.
he's a quarterback that can move. All right, next slide. We got the Rams at home against the Seahawks. Seahawks are 7.5 point favorites. I'm going Geno. Phil's going Geno.
Gino owes me from last week.
Oh yeah, Geno owes me too, losing to the Raiders. But hey, I think the Rams have truly given up, so should be able to beat the Rams.
Mhm.
Okay, we got the 49ers at home against the Dolphins. The 49ers are 4 point home favorites. Um, I'm going Dolphins. I think the 49ers are still trying to figure out this team. I mean, hell, they struggled against my Saints defense. Um, I like the 49ers, but I gotta go with the Dolphins here. Phil's going with the Dolphins. Who you got?
I gotta go with the Dolphins. I don't think that the 49ers got the defense to slow down that track meet, Waddle and Hill
Yeah, yeah, it threw too much stuff at you. So the Dolphins would throw a lot of stuff at you, and I think they're
by
gonna throw a
far.
lot.
And that's gonna change the whole game because now you're down 21. You're
Hmm.
down 14. You can't do the ball controlling that you normally would do.
Right,
And your
right,
defense is gonna put you behind so far that you're gonna be forced to throw away your game plan.
right, right. Yeah. So I'm going Dolphins, and you're going Dolphins. Phil's going Dolphins. All right, let's go on. Next one. Bengals at home against the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 2.5 point road favorites. I'm going Chiefs. Phil's going Chiefs. Who you got?
I'm going Chiefs. Here's why. Reigning MVP year, hands down.
Mm,
Minus the weapons, because he's making the weapons. Because you can't game plan for anybody because he distributes the ball to everyone.
everyone, exactly, exactly. And I think I can't remember the running back's name. Um, I think he wears number 10. Dang, I can think of his name right now, but the guy's explosive, and he's giving them some big playability at the running back position. So, speaking of the Chiefs, so the Chiefs are just they just keep adding more and more weapons.
Smith, I mean Williams.
No, it's not Williams.
No, no, no,
Well, what's
Williams.
his first name?
Who they had just had it?
I can't think of his name right now, but yeah, they just added another good player to the team, and so yeah, I like the. Okay, let's
Definitely.
move on to the next one. We got the Raiders at home against the Chargers. Chargers are 2-point favorites. This was a tough one for me because I cannot get a handle on who the Raiders really are. I like the Chargers, but I also like the talent that the Raiders have. And I like what Josh Jacobs did last week, but I don't think he can duplicate that this week. I don't think so. And I think the Chargers get this win. So I got the Chargers winning this game. I think that the Raiders are going to have a letdown. Um, you can't ride Josh Jacobs back every week. So you're going to have a bit of a letdown. I got the Chargers winning. Phil has the Chargers winning. Who you got?
I'm going with the Raiders.
Going with the Raiders.
My LB here, a Raiders fan. I think they're gonna show up and play big this week.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Feelings over facts. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. We'll see. Okay. All right. So here we go. Here we go. So you touched upon this earlier. So I want to hear this now. We got the Cowboys at home against the Jeff Saturday Colts. The Cowboys are 11-point home favorites. So I'm going with the Cowboys. Phil's going with the Cowboys. Don, tell me, should I play some clown music as you explain to me how the Colts are going to win this game?
Man, Saturday getting these guys really playing tight. I
Hmm.
but I just don't see them having enough weapons. I think Ryan showed me why the Falcons let him go
Hmm.
last week. I think he cracks under pressure and he's not seeing the defense.
He doesn't. He doesn't see it anymore. He doesn't.
Doesn't see him at all. So yeah, I'm going with Cowboys.
Okay.
It's I hate to.
Man, we've pretty much picked all of the same picks.
Oh, no, 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 keep going.
There's a few where we didn't, but okay. Yeah, it's gonna be a tight race to the finish. Okay. All right. So we have the Buccaneers, Monday Night Football.
Yeah, let's talk
The
about it.
the Bucks at home against the Saints. The Bucks are 3.5-point home favorites.
Tell your wife I'm going with the Bucks.
Yeah.
Tell the
I-
first lady I'm going with the Bucks.
I'm,
tell,
I,
tell her wearing Jersey proud in the house.
yeah, yeah, yeah. She have. It's been embarrassing. You know, when we play the Bucks, and she'd be sitting next to me cheering on our Bucks. I'm like, y'all gonna lose this game, right? They'll be, they'll go up 17-0 or something like that, 14-3. And I'm like, that's not enough points. And plus, y'all got Jameis Winston. We're fine. We're gonna come back and win. And every time we will come back and win those games.
How you feel this week?
I don't feel that confident anymore. Put it that way. I remember they had what was his name? Josh. Oh, Josh Freeman. I remember all that
Yeah.
they've had like 30 quarterbacks in the past 20 years.
You talking about the team that Keyshawn played for?
Yeah,
But he still doesn't want to acknowledge him.
he don't want to acknowledge him. Yeah, he don't even recognize John Gruden either as the coach that won the Super Bowl that year. So, all right, I say all that to say I'm going Buccaneers because
Woo!
it looks like
Hey, I gotta send this to your wife.
yeah, you can send it to her. I I'm not gonna do that foolishness I did last week.
Let Phil go.
Phil went Bucks, and you going Bucks. You know,
Mm.
it's the obvious pick. It'd be silly not to pick the Bucks. If the Saints tend to go with Andy Dalton again, Andy's going, keep it close. He's not going to be terrible. Let's just get that straight. And Andy's not terrible, but we know we're not going to win with this dude. He's it's just
I wouldn't count on it.
yeah, he just doesn't have it anymore. He's just not. He's not the same guy that was in Cincinnati. His time has passed. So, with that, we're gonna wrap up today's show. Thanks again for joining us. We do this stuff every week, man. So check us out. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment.
Please
We love to
comment.
interact. Yeah, please comment. All right.